This is Sandra Sheffer, president of the Democratic Women's Club of Greater Broward and co-host of Race and the Racist with my illustrious co-host Narnique Pierre Grant. Today we're actually going to have a real awesome show. We have South Florida immigration attorney. She owns a boutique firm, Mayra Joli, and she actually has won several pageants. I think she was like Miss Coral Gables and a couple different things. Won about 5 different pageants. And she's throwing her hat into the political arena, and she's running for Coral Gables, a commission seat in Coral Gables. So we're going to talk about what it is that she wants to do for the community. I think her race might be an historic race, and she's going to talk more about that. There are a lot of things that are happening in South Florida politics. One of the things that Narnique and I think are very important is that we focus in on down ballot candidates, right? Everyone's always worried about the president and the state senators. No, you need to worry about your local elected officials. You need to worry about your commissioners. Those are the people that's going to make decisions about your day-to-day life. So those races are extremely important. My understanding of that is that the race is on April the 13th, 2021. And so she's going to talk more about that. But before we get to hear from Mayra, because she's going to do an intro and most of the talking will be done by her today, I'm going to have Narnique introduce herself and give us a rundown, because we are going to highlight Black business at the end of the show too.
Absolutely. As you all know, it is Black History Month, and today, the second show of the edition for Black History, I have my Black Girl Magic shirt on. And I have my braids today. I was telling Sandra that I was going to get my hair, I'm going to get real ethnic this month. So I'm so excited to have Miss Joli. And you know what? Maybe some people may know or may not know, but Miss Joli is a soul celebrity. She is. I don't think people know that she is, but she is a little celebrity now. And she'll does her intro. She'll let you know where you can find her and why she's a celebrity. I mean, celebrity to the point where SNL
did a skit on her. Say that.
So it's important that people know that. So we're going to go in. We're going to talk about some new policies that the Black Caucus has. A lot of bills that they're trying to put in through the legislature. We're going to drop a little bit of those in, and then we're going to go into what Miss Joli has in mind for Coral Gables, what her vision is. We're so excited to hear about it, and then we're going to finish out with our Black entrepreneur at the end. It's going to be a real treat. So really, really excited. And I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Joli. Please give everyone a hello and tell us a little bit about yourself.
And share, right?
Share. Yep, share the post.
Yeah, just go ahead and share, because we want the residents of Coral Gables to know what it is that Attorney Joli has in store. So just share, okay?
Well, thank you very much. First time and long time friend and colleague of Sandra. We have seen each other in the path going and coming from court, and we have seen the changes in our bodies while we were all having a little big belly to having.
She's looking better, okay? She's improving, and I'm over here showing all of my age, okay?
Thank you.
She's keeping it tight and right, and I'm over here getting loose.
But yes, I'm an immigration attorney. I came to the United States back in the 80s, petitioned by my father from the Dominican Republic. We are 4 sisters, and we all immigrated here. All my sisters and my nieces and nephews. We went for a little family to a huge group of people that we love, and that the extended family, the in-laws, everybody's welcome here. And I graduated from law school actually in the Dominican Republic back in the 80s. And then when I immigrated to the United States, my father always knew that, we have to advance in life. We have to assimilate. We have to get in with the program. So my father found out that I could validate my title through Louisiana. So I prepared for it. I learned the language well, because I thought, speaking English is like saying, well, coffee, yeah, café, or spoon, yeah, cuchara, and that's it. But no, after I came here, it's like I started watching soap operas and stuff, because my dad wanted us to watch a TV in English. But I say, but I don't understand anything. Well, I may as well watch soap operas, because you always can pick up something. Mm-hmm. Then after that, I convalidated my title, here. And then that's why I practice immigration, because my license was confirmed from Louisiana. And since immigration is federal in nature, so I practice immigration legally, because, you know, when you are running for a position, it's the time. I thought they were gonna find strange cousins and whatever. No, if they can find nothing, they will fabricate a lie and throw it at you. But, you know, I was there like the storm going through, and the royal palm is always, they bend, but they never break. And they didn't break me because my principles are unbreakable. And that comes from having family foundations. And then you go through life and you take everything that is thrown at you. And now I ran for Congress in 2018 for a federal position. And now I'm running for commissioner for Coral Gables. Maybe that was the calling. Instead of going to try to fix, like you said, politics are local. We are so eager to just like, no, I don't want to vote. I'm just going to vote for during the presidential election. But we don't know that the person who have to do with our daily life, driving our cars and going from our houses to our job, is not the president, it's the local people. That's why I decided to go ahead and throw my hat in the commission after you see that, wait a second, so who's representing the little people? The little people is whomever have to go home from work, they have to cook, they have to clean, they have to walk the dog. Those are the little people. No, it's not a matter of the financial achievement. All of us, no matter how much money we have or how little money, we all want to go back to a place that we can call home.
Yes, absolutely. And the story that you tell about learning how to speak English from television, that's such a typical immigrant story, right? Yeah. You know, a lot of them, I met people from, you know, African countries, people from Haiti, from Latin American countries. And when English isn't their first language, they're like, I learned how to speak English watching television, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a little bit of a story. So when the pandemic started, right, we're like, well, I'm like, since I'm going to be stuck in my house, I should learn something, right? You know, you're like, this is an opportunity. We have time on our hands. Let's learn something. So I decided, I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to, because I used to be able to speak some Spanish, but you know, if you don't use it, you lose the language. Yeah. So I was like, well, if people learn English watching television and soap operas, I'm going to learn Spanish watching Spanish soap operas, right? Right? So what I didn't know is like if you know how we have one season of a show, in American it's like 13 episodes, maybe 10. No, the Spanish ones are 60 episodes. It's 60. I'm like,
whatever.
Okay, this is not gonna work. I cannot watch 60 episodes of anything at all. I was like, I'm not gonna, and I think I learned about jefe because everybody's boss. I learned the word negra because that's what they say all the time. So I think all of those Spanish, that's the only thing I learned was jefe and negra. Which is terrible, but that's what it was. Yeah, so that was my effort at learning Spanish from television. So if anybody knows of a Spanish series that's 13 episodes, tell me and I'll watch it. I cannot watch 60 episodes of a show that's an hour and 15 minutes long. I didn't have that kind of time.
Oh, we do.
You don't have that type of time.
No. It's 60 episodes and 7 seasons. So I was like, if I calculate the hours, I will be watching this for 1 year before I'm finished, you know? And that's watching TV 12 hours a day for like 1 year before I can finish.
Oh no.
So it's a beautiful immigrant story. And I'm also a daughter of an immigrant. Well, you know, it's so funny I say that.
We're all daughters of
I'm a daughter of an immigrant, but I'm an immigrant myself.
Yeah.
Because I was born in Nassau, Bahamas. My parents are Haitian, but I was born in the Bahamas and I came to the United States when I was 5 years old. So, you know, so I'm more than just a daughter of an immigrant. I too am an immigrant. And that is our story. We come here and our parents come because they want us to be part of the American dream. They come and they want us, you know, to take advantages of all the great things America have to offer. And one of that is going to school. And just like you, I eventually went to law school. And part of that was, you know, as kids of immigrants, our parents don't know a lot of different jobs, right? You're a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, a teacher, or an engineer. So you have 5 choices. So pick one of the 5 and that's it. And if you don't pick one of those, then as far as they're concerned, you don't have a job.
That's true. menu. I mean, we all got our degrees, but the only one, and that's why my other three sisters, they said that my dad prefers me because I follow the menu.
Yeah.
No, he prefers me because I take care of business. Yeah.
And speaking of taking care of business, you are running for Coral Gables Commission seat 2 or group 2. Group 2.
Yes.
Okay. And so what have you heard from your constituents, and what's some of the problems, the challenges that you face, and what solutions, if any, you have that you're going to bring to the table?
Okay, this is what the main complaint of the residents of Coral Gables, that by the way, the residents of Coral Gables are too polite. They are not used to a candidate like me. I am not them. I am not like the people that are running Coral Gables. I am an advocate, and being an advocate is easy to speak on behalf of others. But in this case, I am the other. I am that person also trying to defend their territory. From who, you will say? Well, from those leaders that we elected, and we think that they have our backs, so they are taking care of our interests. But when you see that our interests have nothing to do with what those leaders are there to do, then you start opening your eyes and say, wait a minute. So what happened in Coral Gables right now, Coral Gables is going through a phase in which there has come the time when the vultures, I call it vultures, those developers are looking at Coral Gables like the next cake that they are gonna go and bake. But to bake that cake, they need to have somebody in the inside that's gonna convince the residents of Coral Gables that is going to happen, and that's the best for them. If the residents of Coral Gables don't want to vouch, if they don't want to believe that is good for them, so the developers are making sure that the people inside are going to listen to them, not to the residents. And that happened in every community. That happened even in the simplest homeowners association building, in which you start getting frustrated because you don't understand why the people that are there to represent you look like they are not. And it's not a matter of perception. It's a matter of, you can see it black and white. You can see when they tell you, oh, no. We're just going to change the title, but nothing else is going to change. And 2 years later, they're going to totally destroy and put there a big, massive building. And they say, wait a second, but when did it happen? Oh, well, we're going to let you speak now. Let me speak. Well, they're going to let the residents of Coral Gables, the people who pay their taxes, that we have to pay the taxes, pandemic or no pandemic. We have to bring that money so they don't have any problem getting the money and getting their agenda pushed through, but it's not our agenda. Then what happened? If you have people who are just expressing, well, because I don't think you should do that because that's going to be in detriment of the families and the elderly in Coral Gables. And they are not obeying. Listening is one thing. But if we are the bosses, the commissioner have to listen and obey, follow our desires, the residents' desires, because residents have to come first, not the developers, not the people that have the big money. Just think about it. My campaign has no money. The only money in my campaign is the money that I put in my campaign. And you will start thinking, but why, if this position only pays, let's say, a percentage, $30,000 maybe a year, you know that why would you spend $500,000 to take a position that only pays $30,000? So at that point, you see where the money is coming from. If the money is coming from everywhere, then you're going to start thinking, is this person going to be able to be neutrally representing me, my interest? What is it? Why we have big developers throwing money at candidates for this position? What is happening here? They have their eye. If you drive to Coral Gables, my house is from the 50s. There are a bunch of homes in Coral Gables. Coral Gables is an old neighborhood.
isn't Coral Gables a historical neighborhood?
It's a historic.
Because I have a friend who has a house in Coral Gables, and she was going to do she wanted to expand the house and do a renovation, right?
Ooh.
She goes to get the permit, and they said, well, you could change the back, but the front of the house have to stay the same. She had one little thing in the front. They was like, you cannot disturb it because it's a historical.
Exactly.
Part of it is historical, so you can't change. So how
some
developers can come in and build in a historical neighborhood?
Well, that's the thing. If you drive to Coral Gables and you say, oh, what is this massive building here? They're doing here. And they have massive buildings here and over there. And they're popping up like if they were chickens out of a chicken hood. They want to convince everybody that the Miracle Mile, which is known for the little quaint stores, the bridal shop. You go there, you have your little coffee and whatever. You don't find Louis Vuitton and the Big Gap or whatever. You don't need to find that there because that's why we have Merrick
Place, yes.
Yeah, so Merrick Place. So these people have been, and I say these people because I don't even know who it is. It is something like that. We have a group of developers and commissioners who got together back in April 2018, and they decide how they're going to distribute that cake called Coral Gables. Now, the residents of Coral Gables all of a sudden find out that this is happening, and they gave us from October of last year to now to see what we think about it. Think about it. That's it. If to hear us speak, nothing else. Know that they are going to not know that our conversation is going to change anything, but they pretend to follow like a little protocol, like letting them speak. And not only that, yesterday was the day that the commissioners all together, I don't apologize for any of them, because you see when the residents go to speak and the commissioner, they all thank him. Thank you for letting me speak. I go, whoa. Thank who? You guys work for us. Because the problem is that since the people of Coral Gables are so polite, the commissioners, the vice mayor and the mayor, all of them together, they believe that they are the lords. They believe that they have to be treated like that. And I say, no, we have a problem here. And they think that they can do with the Coral Gables land whatever they want. And they have shown that. So yesterday, there was the day when they were going to put the seal on selling Miracle Miles. Selling, that's the word.
The
selling
whole Miracle Mile?
To the developers, to whatever they want. 17-story, 12-story tall. The only thing that stopped it, well, they keep saying that we're going to have in the future, Coral Gables have to move like the future moves, because we're going to have flying cars. So we don't going to need to park because our cars are going to go and park themselves. Some nonsense like that for the city of Coral Gables, one of the oldest cities in South Florida. So they keep saying, well, we did that in South Miami. Oh, well, we did that in Coconut Grove. And they don't listen to the residents saying, we don't care what was done in other places. We don't want Brickell in Coral Gables, because if we wanted Brickell in Coral Gables, we wouldn't move to Brickell. That's what it is. And paying all these taxes is not for them to now tweak and change depending on how much money is in the coffer. And is how much money is in the coffer. Because you have seen families who want to build a monkey bar in the backyard, and they have like they hell to pay. But if somebody wants to build a McMansion, and you see those mansions there, and you say, well, this thing doesn't belong to this neighborhood, even if it's Coral Gables. It doesn't belong. It's too modern, too big, too whatever. But somehow they get the permit. Somehow they get the permit. At one point, I wanted to do and let me tell you, I'm very congenial. I'm very happy-go-lucky until somebody's trying to pull a fast one. I try to prepare or to organize a potluck, neighborhood potluck in my street, Geronimo, San Esteban, some of the streets there, right? Because our neighbors, last time we saw them is when we walk our dog, or maybe during Katrina, that everybody was outside. But I said, I don't want to let that happen, let's have, and the kids are growing already, so let's have this potluck. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe all the hoop I have to jump just to have that. I have to go to get a commission, get a meeting with everybody, and they go like, well, you're gonna have music. Oh, you're gonna need a permit for that. Oh, you're gonna have tables. Oh, you're gonna need a permit if you're gonna put one of the legs of the tables on the street. So they're giving me that hard time. The president of Coral Gables. And I said, but wait a second, these people are working for us, but against us. At one point, I did an egg hunt in Ponce Park, an egg hunt. I was running for Congress at the time. But for me, having a party doesn't mean that I'm gonna use that to pitch my congressional bid. I can do parties everywhere. I do karaoke, I do happy hour. And if I wanna do a congressional party, I will say that too. Yes. They go, are you sure? Are you sure this is not political? Hell no, I will tell you. Oh, well, it happens that they send in Coral Gables police. I thought it was to make sure we are safe, that I had to pay. No, it's to make sure I don't get out of line. At that point, I say, so wait, let me get this straight. So we, the residents of Coral Gables, are the enemy here? Is that what it is? So it got to the point that yesterday they were gonna seal the deal in which they were gonna vote. And let me tell you, there is a new administration coming in April. Want them or not, there is a new administration. So what is the rush to push it now? Because they're afraid the new administration will not be as flexible and eager to please the developers. That's what we are thinking, and they have to put it now. So we've gone through a pandemic in which the businesses in Miracle Mile have been hurting. Get the tables out. No, bring it in. Oh, the mask, all distance, all close it, or open it, like that. So now, these people have the audacity, the commissioners have the audacity to say that by bringing the developers and overbuilding Miracle Mile, that's going to help the little businesses. You tell me how it's going to help.
No, it's not
you have a very big shoes to fill once if you win the election, and to try to change that dynamic. And how many people are on the commission? How many?
And the commission, there are 4 plus the vice mayor and the mayor.
Okay, so
all of this, and every time they are discussing all of these changes, it happens that the staff approved it. How come the staff is approving all of these big projects? Where are the commissioners? But when the commissioners came forward, it's like they get there to vote. Yeah. Commissioner Mena? Yeah. Commissioner Kia? Yeah. Commissioner whatever? Yeah. Mayor Reyes Valley? Yeah. Also everybody. So what were we here for? Everybody's already.
What is the makeup in Coral Gables in terms of what's the total? What's
the size of the city?
And what's the racial makeup?
Well, we are 54,000 residents. There are more Hispanic than American, and also the ratio of saying, because when we call to Black people, I have to make that distinction because of the who votes, who went to vote, and who whatever. Yeah. But they're not many Black people don't move to Coral Gables. And Black people have never that everybody knows had throw their hat for commissioner and let alone win. Why I don't bring that the race card onto the table? Because my slogan is, I am not them. And it's easy to see, I am not. And the reason I don't say, well, because I am the only, there are candidates that they go with the slogan, I am a single mom. I am gay. I don't want to say that I'm Black. Everybody knows it, or is it a secret? So I don't have to make it that part of, please, I deserve this position. No, you're gonna elect me because I am gonna be your voice, your megaphone, because you know that even if they are doing something in the back at the closed door, they're gonna be afraid because Mayra Joli is there. She's gonna tell everybody what is happening here. They claim there is a sunshine law in Florida, but when is it applied? Yesterday, the commission, they were insulting everyone, including me, that they say I have another dramatic breakdown. Oh yeah, of course I have a breakdown. The mayor sent me to check my blood pressure. Listen to that. Check my blood pressure when I'm the poster child of health. I have been working the whole time, pandemic or no pandemic, and as God is my witness, I haven't gotten sick, nothing, anything.
So your race is contentious. It sounds like it's very contentious.
It will. Now,
if the mayor is asking you to take your blood pressure. So let me.
Nani, she started and said that the people in Coral Gables were a little too polite, right? No matter what the people are doing, they don't complain. And so now she's here to tell it all, right?
There goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood. There was a protest, peaceful protest yesterday in front of the Coral Gables courthouse. None of them came out. Not even perch in the balcony. Nothing. Like we didn't exist. They didn't recognize that we were there expressing our views. And we said, you have to, in Coral Gables, residents live in Coral Gables, not developers. So you have to obey, not listen, because they claim if they listen to you and they go to the other side and do whatever, they already did their job. So the times that I have, and it's not now that I'm running for this position, that I'm joining the commission and checking what is happening there. I have been doing it forever, since before. I started doing that one time that the mayor of Miami decided that they're going to build the Mel Reese golf course, in that golf course by the airport, they have, the autistic kids and kids that have, learning disabilities. They are going there and they are doing their camp and whatever. So the mayor of Miami had the big idea of teaming up with David Beckham, the football player, whatever he plays, soccer player, to come and develop that area. And they said they're gonna put there a soccer field. The soccer field is this big, and then the rest is massive hotels, luxury apartments.
But that's a done deal, though. Isn't that a done deal?
No, not in the Gables. They're trying to do that near the Miami Herald building by the bridge. So that's one, and they're still dealing with that.
So I have a couple of questions. I have a couple of questions in the chat.
I'm gonna let you ask your question, but so development is definitely one of the big issues in Coral Gables. Is there anything else that the residents are concerned about in Coral Gables besides the developers? Because a lot of the cities are having those problems. Because there's some cities, as far as the residents are concerned, there's nowhere else to build. You have to build up. And when you build up, you're creating too much density for the neighborhood, which affects traffic and all different types of problems.
So most of Broward is the same issue too.
Well, you see how you say, Sandra, they brought in an expert. They paid $250,000 to some big name attorneys, and they brought an expert saying that the solution to our traffic problem is density. We have to put more people one on top of the other. That would be the way to resolve the traffic problem, because they figure if you put everybody one on top of the other, they're gonna stay in the building. They're gonna go downstairs and they're gonna go upstairs.
Everybody in the house has a car. So everybody in the house have a car. So it's not.
And we have septic tanks in Coral Gables. We don't have city sewer. So where all these people are gonna do their necessities, where everything is gonna go. So what they're gonna put in all these little stucco boxes, but they don't tell you more than that. It's insulting how they try to to tell you that that's going to resolve every problem. If you have problems at home, oh, don't worry, overdevelopment will take care of that. Oh, you can go grocery shopping. Oh, no problem. Overdevelopment will do that. We're going to have a Louis Vuitton, Karl Lagerfeld, Gap. We're going to have all of that in Miracle Mile. So everybody's going to come and shop in Miracle Mile. How? If people are buying online, how are they going to tell us that now the people are going to go to Miracle Mile to shop? Absolutely not. And we stopped that yesterday. For now, they table a bit. Maybe they thought this is too hot now. Let's just put it in the drawer and bring it back in March. Yeah, but they approve another section. It's like you taking care of this one, but the other one is burning. They approve the craft section. But also to say, what other problems we have in Coral Gables? Well, we have little problems too. People are walking their dogs, and if they curb after the dog, they take the little bag and they throw it in people's yards. Yeah, we have a poop problem.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's everywhere.
If developers are allowed to build up, you guys are going to have a bigger poop problem.
No, they just throw it over the balcony. We have a commissioner getting it in the back.
Awful. So you said a couple of things that I have questions for, but before I do that, I'm going to build on it because you are a celebrity, and what I mean by that is because SNL had a skit on you. If you made it to SNL, you've made it. Okay. Yes. But you are the nodding lady, right? You are the lady who was behind former President Trump and nodding. And made a skit for you on SNL and all that other stuff. So our entrepreneurs on, hey, how are you? So we're gonna wrap up, okay? So you are the nodding lady. So you made a couple of points, and I want to kind of address that, right? So one of the things, one of the things that you mentioned was you weren't going to use your race in the race as a precursor and say, you're not going to use it as clearly, but you're here for the people. But do you think that maybe it's important that you do highlight that you are Afro-Latina? Is that the correct term? I hope that's the correct term.
Yeah, it is.
And that you are someone of a person of color that is coming into the race that wants to make, a real difference. That's one question. A couple of questions in the chat. Some people say that one person said that they are a native Miamian, and she said, my ancestors helped settle the Grove, Bahamians. How are the race issues in the Gables? To her and in Miami in general, she asked. And then she said her father was a former police officer in Coral Gables, and that's why she's asking. And then you can also talk about, you nodding at because I think people know you once I say the nodding lady. I didn't know who you were, to be honest with you, until Sandra says, oh, I know her, and she was the nodding lady. And I was like, who is that? What were you talking about? And I don't really watch when the former president was on TV, so I never really, I never saw it. But then when I went to go look, I was like, oh, okay. So tell us a little bit about the nodding lady part. Tell us a little bit about what you think about race relations since it's Black History Month, about this country, and then just give us a little bit of information, because a lot of people are coming on here trying to figure out, because some people didn't know who you were and some people did, and I was like, why you ain't tell me? But so I want you to give us a little bit of info on what that, and where was that, what time was that, and how you became the nodding lady.
Well, this is what happened. I'm very involved in this. I have to be since Obama to this point. I started getting more in tune with what it is to be, what is happening in politics. And I've been in TV, in Spanish TV all the time. So when it comes, I joined the Latinas for Trump somehow, out of like all my support for President Trump. It got to the point that there was that day there was a schedule for the town hall in Miami, but I didn't even try because that is so coveted that nobody even is going to be able to go. But I went to the flotilla. I convinced my husband to take us on the boat, me and 3 of my friends, to go into the flotilla for the Trump thing. Everybody was on the boat and whatever, having a good time. Then on the way back, we were already, somebody contacted me, one of the Latinas for Trump, that saying that CBS was looking for people to make, questions to send, to ask the questions to the town hall. And then they didn't pick my questions, of course, because they considered it was a softball. And then I ended up in the audience. Then when we go inside, we went early there. I had my blue shoes with sparklies and my red my red skirt and my white blouse and my little, we go there. And when we go inside, we got there very early, thanks God, because there was no dogs or whatever, or security. And then when we went into the venue, they asked us to sit anywhere. Well, I just picked a seat. But then after that, somebody, when everything is like coming to time to start, there is some floor personnel who kept looking and walking, and they came to me and said, we're going to switch you with this other lady who was behind him. So you know why they did that? Because I was the only Black person there. So they figure what they did is they used my race as a determinant of what they think I should be thinking of. And they didn't go by the content of my character, because nobody even talked to me about that. Mm-hmm. But they just took in consideration the color of my skin. Mm-hmm. But if they were smart, they would see that I was dressed in red, white, and blue. And that's a given. I may not be a hater. So they sat me behind Donald Trump, and I was gonna be my best of behavior, because I have one of these big fans, and they say, well, you know what? It's better if you don't use the fan while we are live, because you wouldn't believe the amount of memes that are gonna be there tomorrow about the fan. I thought he was just joking. And at that point, until after like an hour after I left, I didn't know I became famous. At one point, I felt like that the president was not the president. It was my son sitting there being bombarded by some teacher who didn't want to ask him the right questions that I thought he knew how to answer. So I started ruling for him, and I was like there, and then his back was towards me. I thought I was gonna face. We didn't know which way he was gonna sit. So I asked the Secret Service that was there, like a statue standing there. I said, like, do you know where is he gonna be sitting? And he goes, well, you're gonna be looking at his back. I go, oh my God, all that work to come here, and he doesn't even gonna look at me. It doesn't matter. I have your back, Mr. President. He wasn't there, but I was talking to myself and doing live video, having a good time, because that's what we do, me and my friend. So after that, when he comes in and he sits, nobody, polite people again, very polite. Nobody said anything. Nobody shouted. Nobody screamed. Nobody said, yeah, nothing. Only me. But then I go back to my normal behavior like everybody else, but I couldn't help it. So when they are talking and talking, as they are asking him questions, and this lady's like, I go like, I back there say like, But I was in the dark. So I don't think it is that prominent, because I can see myself, I cannot see, and I can see nobody on the other side of the stage. So we are like incognito, in the dark. My husband started texting, but I didn't pick up the phone, because I thought if I pick up the phone, they already told me, you cannot be doing nothing but just being there. So I didn't want to pick up the phone. He was telling me, they're going to take you off the frame. Stop moving your head. That's why he was telling me. But I didn't get to do anything. But after that, I came out of outside of the Paris Art Museum. There were a bunch of camera people there, but they weren't waiting for me. They were waiting for the people who asked questions. Oh my God. When I went to my vehicle, there was a lady waiting for me for an interview, because somebody told her, look for this girl. I never wear a mask, but I was wearing a mask then. So nobody can know who I am. If I kept saying that I'm not going to wear a mask. No. But I was there with the mask. And then the rest of history. Then they were doxing me, DOX. I didn't know what that was. So people were tweeting and trying to find out who's this mystery lady. And I thought, mystery? Everybody knows me in my house. Then after that, it exploded. Then Sean Hannity, then American Online, Newsmax, CBS, Channel 4, every station, channel, whatever. And me, I'm so shy. I went to everything. Then Saturday Night Live, they didn't skid on me.
Mhm.
And some people were saying like, huh, this was embarrassing. You should sue them. I say, sue them. I love it. If Saturday Night Live sees me as a 20-some-year-old girl, I mean, I'm already 50% up, because if they would have put, exactly, I'm 55 years old, but they don't see me like that. And that girl is very nice, she moves very well. I wasn't doing all that, but I'm picking up from her moves. So I was so happy. My husband told me, it doesn't get more American than that. Saturday Night Live is as American as apple pie. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really care about Saturday Night Live because, first of all, I didn't understand in the past. I didn't know everybody watched Saturday Night Live, but now, now I'm a fan. I don't watch it.
All right. Now what?
I'm going to ask a question. Let me ask a question because you were definitely a Trump super fan. So right now there's the second impeachment trial of the former president happening right now because of what happened on January the 6th. What are your thoughts on that? They had to vote yesterday about whether or not it's constitutional or not. 6 Republicans crossed over and voted with the Democrat. So the trial is proceeding now. What are your thoughts on the Senate listening to the trial? Because he has been impeached by the House of Representatives. What are your thoughts? Do you think he is responsible for the insurrection that happened on January 6th, and he should be prevented from running in office again in 2024 or whenever? Or do you think he's being unfairly targeted by the House members?
Well, he's being unfairly targeted by both Republican and Democrats. Mm-hmm. We have to be talking about the constitutionality of this process. If the Constitution reads, in order to get that the impeachment is the process, I'm paraphrasing, the impeachment is the process that is utilized by the people to take out of office a president or any official for that matter who violate or commit high crimes and misdemeanors, right? So now we have to be certain that we know who the president is, because if we are proceeding with a political impeachment for an officer of an official, a president that is not in office today, then we are violating the Constitution, because we cannot use that proceeding of impeachment to impeach Mayra Joli, because Mayra Joli is not an official. Mayra Joli is a private citizen. But if they are doing that impeachment, so that shows that maybe Robinette Biden is not the president, but it's Donald J. Trump, because these proceedings have to be what I see as the core of what is constitutional. Is the Constitution calling for somebody who's not in office to be tried as if he was the president? It's like us. When we go to BTC and the person already bonded out, we don't go back in front of the Judge Ford because we want to represent that person. That person is detained or not detained, one of the two. In this case, Mr. Donald Trump is the president today, and that's why these proceedings are continued, or he was a private citizen, in which case these proceedings are invalid. It's the Constitution.
But what about the argument? What about the argument that it's not, they wanted to go forward with the trial before he became a private citizen, and it was a delay by the Republican members of the Senate that didn't happen, so that you should not be able to use the excuse that, oh no, he's a private citizen now, when it's really not the Senate's fault that he wasn't tried when he still was the president of the United States.
Okay, but the thing is that if we are about 2-3 weeks for a changing of administration, is it fair to have the people of the United States paying for an impeachment of somebody who's on their way out? So this is partisan. This think about it. We are what is being done. We are taking away the solidity and the validity of the process. We already impeached the guy once, and now we're going to impeach it again. Eventually, we call in the wolf so many times, impeachment is going to mean nothing for anyone. And that's when it comes to the problem. If we're going to talk about was he inciting violence, we're going to define what inciting violence means. But for me, when Maxine Waters get into a microphone and say, when you see somebody from that administration, you form a crowd and you push and you tell them they're not welcome here. That is inciting violence, because people took that to house. And then when Ron Paul and his wife were leaving, I don't know where they were in Washington, D.C., the people did exactly that. They formed a crowd. They went around it and they pushed and then make them know that they are not welcome here. That Ron Paul and his wife, they felt that their life was in danger. So what happened when we are saying that President Trump was inciting violence, when he's the only one who has sent a speech about everybody, we have to have peace. And he is the most peaceful president because people, Israel, we see the peace in the Middle East, that was negotiated by him. It was Korea. I mean, we put in check this guy, Kim Jong-un. I was a Democrat and I remain a Democrat. So nobody can give me stories. And let me tell you, the same way that the Democrats start publishing and advertising to hate somebody, the Republicans do that the same too. Mm-hmm. How many Republicans hate Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez? All of them. And they make the people hate her. But I can't, because some things that she said, they are not that far-fetched. Today, she said that the people who have somebody who died of COVID will be able to recover $7,000 to pay for that. Why will I say no to that? Why is that so bad? Oh, but if I'm a Republican and I'm going to be loyal to the party, I have to hate that too. So none of the two are worth anything for me. That's why I'm running as a non-party affiliate in one of my running for Congress. That's when I realized, wait a second, they are all the same. They both try to use fear-mongering and hate one another. So depending on when they want us to be. So I don't think this is constitutional. I think this is a waste of our money because we have to work hard for our money, but they don't have to. And in order to put a show for the constituents, because you see, everything is put out there. If they were so concerned about the validity and the sacredcy of the Constitution, there are other things that could be put out there for the people to get more trust.
Do you think he the former president had anything to do with what happened on January the 6th? You don't think he invited those people to come to try to stop, the Senate from certifying the election on that day? Does he have any responsibility or any ownership on what happened on January the 6th?
Well,
if you disagree with the impeachment, do you think he have any responsibility or ownership of what happened on that day?
Let me give you an example. Yesterday, me and a group of residents of Coral Gables were at the city hall to stop these people doing something that we didn't want them to do. So we are enticing something, right? Am I responsible?
But you guys didn't go and bust out the windows and fight down the police and go inside and sit people down?
Sandra, yes. It's like when you have a party at your house. Mm-hmm. You expect everybody to behave. And somebody drunk, and at the end, they ended up grabbing one of the ladies in the party, and then he wants to create a problem. Then Sandra is gonna be responsible for that.
So you're saying that you don't believe he bears any responsibility?
Absolutely no responsibility, because individual responsibility has always been at the front. And let me tell you, my friends went to Washington, D.C., and my friends are very well-oriented business people, good people, Latinas, that will never, never do anything irregular, illegal. And they were there. So that means that my friends went there. They went to Washington, D.C. to destroy? Absolutely not. And if we are going to make Donald Trump responsible for that, who's going to be responsible for all the mayhem that had happened during the 2020-2019? Who's going to be responsible for what happened?
Okay, so what about the part when they were saying, okay, the folks are going to listen to you. Can you at least tell them to stop and come out and stop what you're doing? And he decided not to do that. Does he have responsibility since he knew he had the power to tell them to stop and he chose not to use the power that he had to tell them to stop, does he have responsibility for at least that part, for at least not stopping it from happening, from it continuing once it did happen?
Because if we do that, we will have to make Robinette Biden responsible for what Antifa is doing, because he doesn't come out and say stop. We will have to make Bernie Sanders responsible for somebody going and shooting Escalilla and all the Congress people in the baseball field. If we do that, we have to make Maxine Waters responsible for anything that happened to Rand Paul. We will have to make other people, for example, Nancy Pelosi, we have to make her responsible when she said that she's surprised there is no more uprising. We have to make the people on the TV Cuomo's brother responsible when he said protests are not supposed to be peaceful. So when are we going to draw the line? We cannot say that because Donald Trump is the leader of the country that he should do A and Z. Individual responsibility always, because I can go to Washington, D.C. and I didn't go because, I didn't make all the arrangements on time. I would have gone to Washington, D.C. So that means that if at that point I decide, you know what, I'm going in. So Donald Trump sent me to do it because
let me use your words, because you mentioned that the commissioners in your city, they work for you, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, Donald Trump works for us, period. Biden, he works for us, period, right? And so if you work for me and I'm the boss, and you somehow have influence on other people to create havoc, but then there's other people that don't do it. As my employee, I'm telling you, you dropped the ball by allowing this to go on, and I'm telling you, there's repercussions for you dropping the ball. Again, remember, I'm using your words. You said they work for you. So the president essentially works for the people of the American Republic, right? And if you have a great majority saying you caused this, that was your responsibility, but for not you saying and the other things too, I mean, we can agree to disagree, but to string on the narrative that the election was stolen, to push people to feel that it was stolen and that they needed to do something about it. These are the things that he said. And let's be clear, let's be honest. People do have influence on other people, just like how we have influence on our children, just like how we have influence on our spouses. We have influence, right? And you can't ignore the fact that he has influence. You can't ignore the fact that there's people who are diehard Trump supporters. You can't deny that fact. So the fact that is that, okay? And I would be saying that if Obama would never do that, but if Obama did that, I would be saying the same thing. You caused it. Because you caused it, there should be repercussions. So at the end of the day, I think that we're going to agree to disagree on that, but he bears responsibility. He may not bear a whole lot of responsibility in your view, but for the many of us that feel that he bears responsibility, he does. Just like I would hold the BSO sheriff who had somebody die in his care. He bears responsibility. He's in charge. When you're in charge, the buck stops with you. And another thing you mentioned about your
you understand, Akin, that we're talking about 2 weeks before he was not the president no more. So how much responsibility are we putting in President Trump when everybody's saying you gone, you out the door? So now there is somebody else there. We're talking about a few days from November 3rd through January 21st. It's a lame dog period for the presidency.
But he's still in charge. He's still in charge. And even up until the day he left, he was still making decisions.
Perfect,
So,
perfect.
yeah.
But let me tell you, he gave a speech calling for peace. Where was that aired?
When was the speech calling for peace? When was that?
He made a speech calling for peace, but it was not aired anywhere. Anywhere. None of them, no CNN, no CBS, none of them want to air that speech of the President Trump calling for peace, calling for everybody to go home, calling for peace because we have to have peace. And no place appeared because it didn't feel the rhetoric to have the president, and he already had been cut from Twitter, from all the social media, and now the TV stations don't want to air the message of Mr. Trump. What are we doing? But now
there was two messages. One was on YouTube, and then there was one on a TV where he called and he said, "We love you. You guys are great.
That was the end.
Home." And then the other one came on where he didn't even acknowledge the fact that they destroyed the place, but then yet still he did say it's time for peace and you all can go home.
Oh well,
but,
and then
that wasn't on national TV. That was on YouTube.
Pero que no, the national TV didn't want to air it.
Oh.
National TV, CNN,
I think they had turned off his Twitter or something like that.
No, even Telemundo wanted to air it. So if a tree falls in the middle of the forest and nobody hears it, did it fall? So what can we do? But for be in a corner with a megaphone saying he already said it. You see in that town hall why I have to come to his rescue? Because they keep asking him, do you denounce white supremacists? How many times that question is going to be asked until somebody says, what do you want me to do? What else do you want me to do? So it comes to the point, people, in which I have to be fair when it comes to the person. Right now, I am an advocate of the little people. When I feel the little people is on the other side, I am going to go and try to defend them. Right now, for me, the little people are the residents of Coral Gables. And you will say little people with that amount of money and those cars, and they have all of that. Yeah, because if you don't have a voice, no matter how much money you have, you are the little people. And that's why when I see injustice going to somebody's door, I jump at it and I try to correct it or at least speak about it because I don't want that to happen to me. When injustice comes to my door, people are going to think that's natural, that's normal, and nobody's going to come to my rescue. That's why I want to be the one helping others. I don't want to be the one getting the help.
So I want you to clear up some things for me on just because the way you're talking, I see the passion and I see the advocacy. So I want you to clear up some things for me. On one of you have like 2 or 3 Facebook pages. One of the Facebook pages you posted something about being happy that slavery happened and that you're happy that slavery. I'm sorry. Something's on the message. So you're happy that slavery happened because if it wasn't for slavery, you would be in Africa somewhere eating dust or something like that.
That's
and
right.
In the comments, another person said that that you're running for office and they feel sorry for you, that you would say something like that, and you said something about that you wish you were whiter because you like white people or whatever the case is. I want you to clear that up for me. I want to understand where you're coming from because and we're always, Sandra and I are always hitting each other with stuff and we're always trying to understand because we want to make sure we understand. But I want you to clear that up for me, and I want I want people to see and understand where you're coming from.
All right. My son is light skinned, beautiful, like you, because he's a combination. My husband, who's a white American, that's why you can find him from Minnesota, and me. But I am not an African American in the sense because I come from the Caribbean, but I came from Africa. Had not been because my ancestors were brought in to cut the cane, then I wouldn't be here. we have to find the positive aspect of everything in our lives. And we have to trust that God had a message and it has a destiny for each one of us. If it wasn't for slavery, I would not be sitting here, because there's no way I would be living in the Dominican Republic. There's no way my father, who ancestors came from Haiti, would be tapping the shoulder by that airline saying, you are a tailor. We want you to do our, uniforms for the airline. If it wasn't for that, my dad wouldn't gone to Puerto Rico. If it wasn't for the life that he had in Puerto Rico, he wouldn't have moved to Miami and started life here and petitioned for us. You see, it's like a chain reaction effect. I would have been in Africa now, and I don't see myself being an attorney in Africa. I don't. I would be one of the Africans in Africa, one of the people that we have to help and send money to the NGOs so the water can be brought into the places where they live. One of the people in Africa in which Bill Gates and his people are going there to put vaccines, so they are the guinea pigs of the future.
But,
so
but just to be clear, just for clarification, that's not the only kind of people that are living in Africa, right?
I know.
There's some very highly educated, most of the most educated immigrant group in the United States are Nigerians, right?
That's right.
That are African. So,
let me tell you,
there's some Africans that may find themselves in situations that are unfortunate, but there are a lot of very, very successful Africans. The Black billionaires, most of them are Africans, and they're like Nigerian because they got oil over there, right? And then you have the other ones where they have like diamonds. So not all, and I think people are concerned with the fact that you're not thankful for slavery, because I mean, again, I'm an immigrant myself. I'm glad my mother left Haiti and came to the United States and tried to give me a different life, because there are more opportunities in the United States. So that part of it, I think people are okay with, right? The part that I think they have more of an issue with is the statement that you would have been eating dirt or something like that. I think that's where the part where
but we cannot deny
Africans.
Yeah, but the thing is that have they seen the National Geographic? What did they show in National Geographic if you don't go to Africa?
But that's remember how you said that if a tree fell in the forest, did it really fall? Part of that is, this is what some of the media want you to think about Africa, right? So they pick and choose, and they only want to show you the poor kids that are starving, that need $19 a month, but they're not showing you the billionaire Africans that are there, the highly educated Africans, the ones that are all over the diaspora. So there is a really big misconception about how people are living in Africa.
Sandra,
a lot of them are living extremely well.
I see it in National Geographic. National Geographic, they're supposed to be super cool. Not anymore. But listen. If I think the fact that I thank slavery, because due to slavery, my ancestors were moved to the Caribbean. Otherwise, they wouldn't have enough money to go anywhere. Señores, I am being realistic. Right now, I can be the famous nodding lady, but I'll be nodding nothing if I was still in Dominican Republic. I would be nodding nothing if I was still with my ancestors in Africa. And that's the reality. And then the part that I wish I was lighter, what's wrong with that? Why can people accept me, a Black lady, wanted to be lighter? Because people accept men who wanted to be women, and they accept women who wanted to be men. So we are in the same predicament. If I wanted to be lighter, why can I be accepted like that? I mean, it's a matter of, sometimes I throw things there because they make logic to me, that it also shows how hypocritical people can be when they're trying to say that they are defending me as a Black woman. I'm defending you, but at the same time, they're not putting me on a pedestal. They put the pedestal on top of me because I don't want to see through their eyes. So I have learned to be able to assimilate and then try to dissect what is being thrown at me. And what I go by is having the principle that is unbreakable. no matter how much they call me racist. They call me a sellout. They said me that I've been managed by that I've been brainwashed by my white husband. He wished that he could convince me otherwise because I would speak slowly like he met me before. We've been together for 25 years. So for my husband, this is no jungle fever. It's not that he found a Black girl and he's having a good time. No, we are legit family-oriented group of people, a family nucleus. And no matter what nobody will say around, yes, I love my white husband. I love white people. I love my mixed kid. And I love all of those different colors that are my family. And my 3 nephews that are really, truly Haitian, I call them the Germans. They don't get mad for that. And everybody laugh. All of us in our family, I call them the Germans. And they don't care because they don't see the color. In our family, we don't see color as a divider. We don't see it. My husband is the patriarch of the family because all of those kids in my family, they at some point were sitting on our table with my white husband at the end. Some of them went on to the Marines because they got inspired by that man. So when people are calling white people racist, I see that guy and I see how he make a positive impact to everybody in my family because my son is lucky to have me and him all together working for for his spirit to be happy. And then we have shared our table with all of our nieces and nephews that maybe they didn't have. They were not lucky to have a good father like my husband is. He's a white guy. So a white American, exactly like Donald Trump. So when I see this divisiveness that is created by ourselves, because let me tell you something, in Dominican Republic, there are 3 types of people. Black like you, Sandra, Black like me, and the lighter skin like Narnique. And those girls are the elite because she has beautiful skin, never sweat, never shine. And I learned to love that. Instead of hating it, I loved it. I try to do everything so I can look like them. So in Dominican Republic, we didn't learn to hate the wild lighter skin. We learned to love it, So I think, and that's the way I'm teaching my son, maybe all of my nieces and nephews, because my sisters are married to, one of them married to a Swiss. Her daughters are like goddess. These girls, they have the light eyes. My sister's husband is from Sweden, blonde, blue eyes, and that family see us like we are the best of the best. So we see them the same way. So it's a competition of who's best because we love each other more. And
you know what? And I don't mean to cut you, Mayra. I have to tell you, I'm trying to see things through your perspective. I really am. But I'm hurt. I'm hurt within my heart because when you said this divisiveness and this country is rooted in slavery, right? Enslaving Black people. This country was founded on Black people's backs. It is a very dysfunctional, abusive relationship that occurred with Black people coming here. And while I'm trying to understand your point and I respect what you're saying, it hurts me that the lighter skin, or that you would prefer it and it's okay and then you use the analogy of the transgender people. I don't think those things are the same. But I hope that at some point you would know that you're beautiful the way that you are. That you're gorgeous, a striking woman, gorgeous.
She has her pageant wins to prove it too.
Sandra's gorgeous. And so is Tangela here on there. I wanted you to give you an opportunity to talk about that because, when someone sees something like that or a post like that, and then when your responses were like, you wish you were whiter or the other thing or whatever, there's a lot of other people that are looking at that. And the goal for me is to always make sure that everyone understands that they are perfect the way that they are, no matter what shade color you are or whatever it is, especially now since it's Black History Month and it's something very near and dear to my heart. I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with what you're saying, and with all due respect. But I really wanted to have an opportunity to hear your side on why you posted it, and the conversations after that. It's very interesting. I'm very like curious about you. I'm very interested into learning more about you, to be honest, because I've never seen things through the perspective that you're saying, even though I disagree with it. But we're always here to listen to different perspectives. I'm always here to be respectful, and I really appreciate you answering the question. I really appreciate you address it, because a lot of people give me pushback, but I appreciate that you were able to be vulnerable and transparent. It means a lot that you're able to do that, and I really, really appreciate it. And I don't want to keep cutting you, but I want you to finally tell people where you can be reached, your websites, when your election is again, because we're going to go into our entrepreneur part.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm just going to say what I have to say right now, because we're going to do that. But I have to tell you, Mayra, like sometimes people's like, why do you talk to her? I'm like, her energy is like absolutely amazing, right? And even if you absolutely disagree on probably 90% of the things that come out of her mouth, the way she says it, and with the commitment, it's like, how do you not love it, right? Like, how do you just not love her? Even though, like some of the things you said, I was like, girl, I don't know. But at the same time, we had like a great conversation. A couple of times I had to, I'm really managing my face right now, because I was like, what you just said? But at the same time, it's still amazing to talk to you. And I literally think we could probably talk for the next 2 hours and you won't be bored. It will be absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us. And I got to thank Tangela from True Detergent for being patient. Just spending the extra time, because she was supposed to start about like half an hour ago. So thank you so much for being patient with us. And I really enjoyed talking to you, and I will talk to you again. And I think we actually need to just have a show talking about how we see the world so much differently, right?
Yes.
And when you said something about wanting to be lighter, I remember watching something where there's some pills that white people are taking now to make themselves darker, right? So that, and then it also gets into that whole issue of identity and how you identify and everything like that.
Right.
But that's definitely a conversation for a different day that I think if you're willing to have with us, that I want to have that conversation with you, because there is a space for it, and there's some legitimacy to that, and there are things that are out there that really makes your point that we should be able to identify ourselves as we want to. And I'm one of those people, like, I don't subscribe to race either, not the way you do, and not for the reasons that you do, but I also am one of those people that don't subscribe to the whole idea of race. But yeah, we definitely need to have that conversation. Thank you so much. And like Narnique said, close out, tell people how to reach you. I know you said you don't have no money in your campaign, but maybe you want some people to donate. Go ahead and tell them how they can donate, and then you can like sign off and go to your wonderful family, and then we can have Tangela go ahead and promote her True Detergent, which I'm a fan of. I absolutely have that product in my house, and I use it and give it away to a whole bunch of folks.
Well, you can find me. No, I don't have no money in my campaign, but if you want to give money, don't give me too much, because I don't want to be compromised with you. But anyhow, you can find
$500,000.
No, not to me. No, honey, send it to Rescue Mission or something like that, and say it was my name. But you can find me at Mayra Joli. You put Joli Mayra Joli, Joli for Coral Gables, Joli for Commissioner. You put Joli, fighting words, firecrackers, you will find me. And then please, we are here to help. What you see is what you get. And I'm here with no agenda. My agenda is, what is it that you need? I'm pushing it. Yeah.
Yes. Very nice. It was wonderful to meet you. It was wonderful to meet you, and thank you so much for taking our questions.
She's on all social media, Facebook, Instagram.
She got like 5 Facebook pages
everywhere. You can find her. And I'm telling you, when I saw that SNL skit, I was like, I know her.
Well, we
So good
appreciate
luck,
your
good luck.
time, Ms. Jolie. Have a great evening.
And,
Thank you
and
so
the people
much.
of Coral Gables, she's definitely not shy, and she will speak up for you. And really be careful of that, those developers, because a lot of the cities are having issue with overdevelopment. It's definitely a problem that we're seeing in Florida, and it's taken away from a lot of the neighborhoods. So it's definitely important.
We've been engulfed.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
So much. Have a good
Bye.
night. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
Miss Amos, I'm
Yes.
gonna let Sandra start you off.
Detergent, how are you? You're on mute. You're on mute.
I apologize. I don't know how to follow that. I mean, Miss Mayra was just taking the show. I was enthralled with everything she was saying. I recognized, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I'm almost ashamed to follow it up. I don't know how I can be as energetic and excited.
And we can discuss it, sis.
Your product speaks for itself.
Listen, we could discuss it. Let's talk about your stuff first, and we can go into discuss that if you like. But I see the background and looking hot. I love it. Let's talk about it.
You know, thank you. First, I want to thank you guys for having this forum. I want to thank Ms. Sandra for inviting me, Ms. Grant. Thank you for having me. I want to talk a little bit about True Detergent. First of all, True Detergent promises to be committed to our community, the Black community. Therefore, the mission of True Products is to build a company that will become an institution that can provide opportunity and benefits for generations to come. The three gentlemen in the background, the warehouse, they're in a warehouse. It is in College Park, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. The gentleman on my left, I guess the right of the picture, is Ali B. Muhammad, and he is a Vietnam War veteran and an entrepreneur and real estate developer. The gentleman in the middle is Malik Salim, and he's an entrepreneur and a former street vendor who, after 16 years of selling his wares in Atlanta and throughout, in different parts of the southeastern United States, he bought the building across the street from where he vended most in Atlanta and started his store. And the gentleman on my right is Abdul Rahim Shaheed, and he's also a Vietnam War veteran and a 40-year veteran in sales and marketing. Yeah, True is a Black-owned and Black manufactured household cleaning product company, but their premier product is the True Detergent. It was established in November 2012, and it's a startup manufacturing and distribution company that specializes, again, in household cleaning supplies. True currently does business in 18 states throughout the country, and also in Canada, Dubai, and Bermuda. They're growing. They're growing. 2012 to now, you're talking about a gentleman in North Carolina, a Black chemical engineer who came up with the formula, and with the help of Mr. Muhammad, he was able to, with his entrepreneurial skills and with Mr. Shaheed's marketing, they were able to bring True out, and it's a growing company. And it is Black owned, and I'm
so impressed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. I became involved with True. I'm a distributor, and True Detergent Miami. I've been a user of True products for years, True Detergent for years. The gentleman in the middle, Malik Salim, happens to be my uncle, my dad's brother, and back in the latter part of 2019, I decided, after using the product so much, and my uncle Malik encouraging us. He's my father's youngest brother. My father's 80, Malik is in his 60s now. He's a soft-spoken gentleman, and he's always encouraged my cousin. I got 31st cousins, and he's always encouraged us to do something on your own. You can work, and we all went to, many of us went to school, but he was always, and he went to school as well, but he realize the importance of trying to build something on your own. And after a career in public service for over 20 years, back in, like I said, the latter part of 2019, I said, well, let me try to distribute. Let me see what happens if I can build my own company, or at least promote the product, because I believed in it. It wasn't so much a money-making venture in the beginning, just to get the product out so that people could become familiar with it. And and so it's funny. I got my first shipment in like the beginning of 2020, and then the pandemic hit. So it was just like, oh boy, going out to pop-up shops, and so it's mostly an online distribution type marketing campaign for me. And I'm not the best online or social media person, but like I said, I believe in the product. True products are made without animal byproducts, without phosphorus, caustics, formaldehyde, DNA, petrochemicals, or SLS. They're not tested on animals. They are, it's 4 times, the detergent is 4 times concentrated. And we have a fragrance and dye-free detergent. It's biodegradable and septic tank safe. And more importantly, it's made in the USA by veterans, and it's Black owned. So, what else does it say?
I have a question for those who have like skin conditions. Like my kid has eczema, and I can't buy certain detergents. Would True be a good detergent for us to use? Because you mentioned a couple of things that it doesn't have in there in the makeup of it. So it sounds like it's safe.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's free of the True Clear. There are 2 different detergents. There's the True Original, which True Miami carries, in 2 different sizes, and then there's the True Free and Clear, which is perfect for people with eczema or skin conditions. Okay. And I think that the founders came up with the True Clear because they wanted to address the issues for people who have skin conditions. Yes. So yeah, so it's a wonderful product. Like I said, I've been using it for years. And, people talk about it when I get feedback from customers and friends, and it's always the same thing. It cleans great. It smells great. People love the way it smells. For the ones that use the True Original. And the fabric softener is a newer product because we carry the True Clear and Free, we carry the True Original, and we carry the fabric softener. The fabric softener is one of the newer products, but we find them all to be just, they're great products. And the fact that, you're investing, or, when you buy the product, you're investing in our community, and the founders, that's important to them. And it's also important that the distributors represent people that look like us. They have turned down deals to sell in some stores because they want to make sure that the people who distribute the product are represented. And so they only they only provide the product in there's a drugstore, I think in New Jersey, but mostly the product is distributed by people in the community like myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to tell you, I got to give a shout out to Felicia Martin from Your Girl Fee for introducing me to True Product, and Tangela Amos. She was promoting the product at an event, said, do you want to buy some? I'm like, yes, bring it here. Because, I will support anybody of color that's doing some good stuff, right? You got a book, you want me to holler at me, I'm going to buy it. If you out there trying, hustling, trying to come, I will definitely be supportive. So I was like, of course, send it to me. And so I bought it. I love it. I use it. most people who know me well, they know my mama does my laundry. Don't talk about me. But yes, I do use the product. So don't talk about me. But yes, she does. And we definitely love the product. And the other thing is I started doing an event like in December. And I actually went on to do a distribution with another nonprofit organization that was providing bags to homeless, like little toiletries to homeless, right? And then while I was there, one of the guys asked, "Oh, do you guys have detergent?" And I was like, and he just said it, and he wasn't even talking to me directly. I just heard it. I'm like, whoa, he needs detergent. I'm like, and you don't think that that's something that the homeless population would want, because you're thinking, well, where they gonna wash their clothes? But then there's levels to this homelessness thing that I'm also learning, that there are levels to like how homeless somebody really is. But even with that, they still want to wash their clothes, and then they can still, at least get enough money to do a load of laundry and that type of thing. So it's important. So when a man said that, I remember that I had True Detergent, and I was like, I called Fee, and I was like, tell her that I want to get, like, if they have like small packets, or even if it was a big container, I would put them in small packets so I can give it to this group of homeless individuals before the holidays. We reached out, we went back and forth, and I ordered the package. She's like, I can get it to you in a few days. And so I placed the order, got a packet, got the packets together, distributed them to, I think at the first event, we might have serviced like 130 people. I gave them each 2 packets. Like a week and a half later, I was getting calls. They'll say, yeah, so the people want to know when the detergent lady coming back by, because, we want to get some more, because they were so happy with the product. So then I placed another order last month, and I got to place one again this month in order for us to, and so it's something that I do monthly. I'm going to start to do, well, I've been doing it monthly, and I will continue moving forward to do it monthly. And True Product is, and they have the 1 load packets. That's what I use. I buy the 1 load packets and give a few of them to eat, put them in there in a toiletry bag, and give to them to the population in Overtown, Miami. So like I said, it's a great product. I ain't gonna talk about homeless people clothes are dirty, but they're outside in the elements, and they literally went back to the center and was requesting that I bring that product back the next time that I came. So it's just a testament to the great work. And for me, what was cool about it was, like, I was able to do a service project, but also incorporate a Black business into it. Yeah. And as I move forward, I'm going to try to find a way to incorporate more Black-owned business products into the toiletry bags that they distribute. But one of the things I have to say, and I have to be, I'm happy about this, is that the detergent is affordable. Right? Because that's one of the things about trying to sometimes support, and especially on such a big scale, support a lot of businesses of color. It's like the numbers have to be what they are, because they have to be profitable. But because they're not doing, like, they don't own the distribution or the manufacturing of it, there's sometimes the things are a little bit more expensive, because they can't make the sheer number or the volumes to reduce the overall price to make it somewhat affordable. But True Detergent has been able to do that it is a number that's manageable, because when I place orders, I order like 300 individual packets at any given time. So it's priced right, and the product is absolutely amazing, and I'm a fan, and I hope the folks that we help out every month, when they're able to get the stuff on their own, that they continue to use True Detergent and all of their products. So that's my
I just love it. I love us so much, and I love every shade of us. I love every parts of us. I don't care how dark, light, short, tall, don't matter to me. And I just love us. I had posted, I think Felicia had posted the detergent on the Broward Black Facebook page, the business Broward Black owned businesses. Mm-hmm. And I posted a few days ago that I love us so much, and I wanted to encourage Black owned businesses to continue on the good work, because no matter what we go through, we have to take care of us, right? We have to be unified enough and supportive enough to take care of us. We can't keep complaining about, oh, well, I ordered this and it didn't come on time. And, you know, every time you do business with Black people, because at the end of the day, you don't complain when the white people do it all the time, and you still go support the white people. So we need to show each other a little grace and still support. And I just love the fact that there is a Black owned detergent, because, you know, we coming for you, Tide and whoever else, we coming for you. And I'm just excited about that. I can't wait to put my order in, because I'm gonna get the information from Sandra so I can start ordering from you guys directly from now on. But I'm just excited. I'm loving the fact that we have a Black owned detergent that is in 18 states and 3 other countries. That's amazing. Amazing. Is there any questions you had from our guest before, Tangela, before we close out?
You know, I'm gonna have to say that the one time when I broke character, it was because of Tangela's facial expressions.
Me too.
I apologize.
I was laughing and I couldn't stop. I was like, wait.
I had to just put my hand in front of my face, because I was like, I'm holding it up. And then Tangela did some face thing, and I was like, oh Lord, boy, I'm about to bust out. So let me cover my mouth. And yeah.
When I was about to tell her, I said, listen, I respectfully disagree. And I was like, then I saw Tangela's face. Oh my God.
I mean, it became apparent to me. It was, you know, some people, my friends tell me that, you know, sometimes it's written all over your grill saying you gotta pull back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I'm in a public forum, and you know,
right.
and her opinion is important, just like anybody else's is.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And so yeah, so I apologize for that.
No need to apologize, because your face was saying what I wanted to say. And listen, and Sandra knows me. It took everything in every fiber of my being to be respectful. It took everything in my body to try to approach it in the most objective way I could. I think I did really well, Sandra, by the way.
I think I did too, because I'm not known to have a poker face. And, you know, and again, like I told you, she just has like, you know, she's saying what she's saying it. She's saying it from the heart. She believe it. You can not like it, but how can you be mad? I mean, she's not, you know how some people say something, there's a bit of vile with it. And so you could be mad at them because they come into it, they say it with some nastiness. She doesn't say, it's not, you don't get that from her. It's like, this is what she believes. This is what she thinks. She's making her arguments. She has a great personality. So you're like, I don't agree with you, but I can't not like you. You know what I mean? It was just.
Oh, I can. And I don't agree. No, listen, I don't agree, but I don't hate her. I just think
you don't agree, but I mean? You know, it's like, I don't hate her.
But I can though.
Yeah. Where some of them are like, you know, they saying that stuff and you could just feel a hate oozing out of their body, you know, as those words are coming out of their mouth. But I can't say that that's, you know, I didn't get that. I'm like, yeah, girl, I don't know, but
I didn't get that either. I didn't get the venom. Oh, there's no venom. I just got like, I don't know no better, and I'm just.
I don't agree, but I didn't get the venom, and so it's like you can have a conversation with her. You just sitting there like, I don't agree with you, but okay.
That's who she is. That's what she believes, and I mean, and we're all entitled to our opinions. And
like I said,
it's you great.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I've known her for a very long time. I mean, I was surprised when I found out some of her views, and she knows this too, because I think the first time she had posted something, I was like, "You're kidding, right?" And she's like, "No," and I'm like, "What you mean, no? You're kidding?" And she's like, "No." And so, and then I was like, "I'm not gonna talk," but I couldn't. You know, when you see her, she has a pleasant disposition, so I couldn't not. You know, I still talk to her. You know?
And you know, and I was ready to rip into her, and then I couldn't
because it won't have that.
Yeah. But Tangela, how can people reach you? How can we reach the company? How can we order? What can we do? How can we do all that?
Well, we're on Facebook. We're True Detergent Miami. You can find us on Instagram, True Detergent Miami, one word. And you can always reach out to me. If it's okay, I'll give my phone number.
Absolutely.
My number is 305-785-5850. You can text me, you can call me, you know, send a smoke signal, you know, whatever we need to do, we will get with you. It is, as I told Ms. Martin has been instrumental in helping me get True detergent out there. And, you know, for me, it's a labor of love, you know, because I do believe in the product. And after, you know, on the other side of retirement, which I am now, you know, that close to retirement, I realize now that, you know, I want to do something else once I retire. I don't want to stop working. But more importantly, I realize how important it is to promote our community, to get, you know, young people involved in doing something, you know, that helps us to build something. And, you know, like I said, for me, it's a labor of love. You know, I may not ever make a whole lot of money doing this, but just to be able to showcase a product manufactured by Black folks and distributed by Black folks to whomever will buy is just, you know, it's life-changing for me. It is almost my mission. So I thank you, ladies, for allowing me the opportunity to be here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. All right. So True Detergent Miami on Facebook, True Detergent Miami on Instagram. I don't know if there's a need for Twitter. That phone number was 305-785-5850. If you want to get in touch with her, I'm telling you, the product, I use the product. So I'm not just, you know, hyping up. I actually use the product. And there's about 180 people in Overtime Miami that's getting it on a monthly basis. So
we're grateful. We're grateful.
Yes, it's a because I give them like 2 to 3 packets in each care package. So it's a bunch of brothers and sisters at Overtime Miami.
Tangela out here doing God's work. Sandra's out here doing God's work. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
No, it's not me by myself. It's a whole bunch of people that's involved in that. Yes, so I'm not taking I might be the one that's organizing it, but it's a whole bunch of people that's involved that's making it happen. So I'm not taking credit for doing any of that by myself, because I don't do it by myself at all. By no stretch of the imagination am I doing that work alone.
All right, that absolutely. Well,
So
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate your patience. We really appreciate your product. We can't wait to make sure that it's on every shelf if possible.
If that's what they want. Right?
Yes, absolutely. All right, so any final words for you, Sandra, before we go?
So there's an election in City of Miramar for 3 commission seats, March 9th, 2020. I know I don't want to, because if I shout out the names, I'm only going to shout out the names that I remember, and there's more than just those candidates in that race, so I don't want to do that, because I don't have my ballot in front of me, but next week I will have the ballot in front of me to tell you who the candidates are in the seats that they're running for. But there are elections in Miramar, Coconut Creek, it's a couple others. It's like about 5 cities in Broward County that have commission races, and I will have the list, which I had it earlier, but I don't have it in front of me, that are running for commission seats on March the 9th of 2021. All right, so make sure you vote. And there's no early voting day. You have to vote on that day, or you can request your vote by mail ballot and complete it and send it out for those elections.
Please, those of you who are watching, make sure that you reach out to Tangela Amos, and you also make sure you know that you check your cities to make sure that if your commissions are up for re-election, please be involved. Remember, those down ballot candidates make the decisions on your everyday life. So it's important that you know who they are and what they represent and how your cities will benefit. So it's important that you get engaged in that, not just on the major elections, but these middle and midterm elections are important as well. Tangela, it's been an awesome time talking to you, even though we got late and sidetracked, but just to think about your detergent, just to know that there's a Black entrepreneur out there doing that makes my heart happy and glad, and I cannot wait to start using your product. And we wish you nothing but success. We want you guys to go further, be on every major table, and just blow up, because we deserve it. And I think that this is the best thing I've seen since I'm just waiting for a grocery store and some extra stuff. They need to come. I need them ASAP. All right. So before I go, the last thing I want to say is please wear your mask. Social distance is very important. There's a variant. Two masks, yeah. There's a variant that's out there that will be the dominant strain come March. Please, 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 I'm begging you, wear your 2 masks and please be safe. Also, make sure you you guys look up, look up everything and all ongoing, not just this month, of all your Black entrepreneurs. Look them up. Try to find ways that you can support, even if you're not purchasing. But please make donations. Please, advertise for them, because you know what, we are a great group. We are trendsetters. We've always been, and we just have to continue on the momentum. So I love us. I love y'all. And I want to thank you all for today. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, next week, everybody. Thank you so much, Tangela. True Detergent, Miami, Facebook, Instagram, and you can give her a call directly. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right.
And thank you, Mayra Joli, for coming and talking to us. Thank you so much for coming. Her race is in Dade County, City of Coral Gables, April the 13th, 2021. April 13th.
13th. Okay.
13th, okay. April 13th, 2021 is Mayra Joli's race. She's running for a commission seat in the City of Coral Gables.
Group 2.
Group 2. All righty.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Good night.
Good night.